Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel sayisifuna incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo le ndaba esesifundile. Senzela laba phela abasuke bengenaso isikhathi sokuthi bayifunde incwadi nalabo abasuke benqena nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama-reviews or ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. If you're joining us for the first time and you really like our content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi and then press i-notification bell ukuze ukwa-subscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Ungakhohlwa-ke futhi ukuthi upress u-join button if ufuna ukuba i-member, or press u-thanks button uma ufuna ukubonga i-channel ngemali. Other than that, please watch an advert or two ma usuke ubuka i-video as your show ukuthi you do support the channel, you guys. Listen, I was meant to do a review. In fact, I was meant to do this review on Monday, but I just couldn't, you guys. I was meant to do the full review. Real Housewives of Cape Town. I still have my notes. Even from last week, I still have my notes. I think I'll just keep them, guys, until they do something really interesting where I have to go back to the notes to put the story together. Because honestly, you guys, in mina self in Cape Town, so kunzima ukuthi ene ngiwenze ama full reviews because I like enjoying the show that I'm doing a review for. But I do want to talk about the fact that because I've seen ukuthi I'm not the only one okhala ngokuthi Cape Town is really boring. Real Housewives of Cape Town is really boring. People are saying that even on Twitter. And so I feel like, okay, it's not just me. It's not that I just don't like Cape Town because I am biased, you guys. I am a Durban girl. So for me, the Durban girls are always going to be number one. And also I did give them a hard time in Durban, honestly, even though they were my girls, but I did give them a hard time when we were not getting what we wanted from the show. I spoke about it. But guys, Cape Town is on another level of boredom, in my opinion. But today I want to talk about the issues that I think that they are having when it comes to the Real Housewives of Cape Town. You guys, I do feel like the producers of Real Housewives of, by the way, you guys, it's not produced by the same people. Durban and Cape Town, they have their own people according to what I saw when I went on Google, if the information is correct. So they have their own producers, so that it's not the two are not produced by the same people. So guys, I did at the beginning feel like whoever produced Cape Town, they watched Durban, and they did pick up on certain things about Real Housewives of Durban that they had an intention to improve on. Like I know for Durban we had an issue where we were not seeing a lot of family lives when it came to the housewives. It was function after function after function. They will go to this function this episode, next episode they're going to another function the next episode. We were not seeing the husbands on Real Housewives of Durban. We were not seeing the kids. We were not seeing the women going to work. All of that we did not see. And I think when Cape Town began, that's what we started seeing. When they introduced, that's what we started seeing. We saw their families. We've seen most of the husbands. I think the one that we haven't seen is Mohammed, Tato's I don't know if it was a husband or partner. I'm not understanding that relationship, but we have seen their kids as well. Those who have kids, we have seen their kids on the show, which is really great. I think it's an improvement. We are seeing them at home. We see them. We've seen Ulavlan go to work to an event that she's working on and all of that. So we're seeing that, you guys. However, it still feels like there isn't a storyline because when they introduce their families, and even with the kids, some of the women have kids that have certain medical conditions. I saw that as a viewer as an opportunity for them to teach a little bit, talk a little bit more about your child's condition, provided that they were comfortable with that. And maybe it was going to be an opportunity for us as viewers to learn. Maybe they were going to get into their relationships with their husbands, but it seems like everybody is interested in talking about Tato and Mohammed's relationship, but they don't really talk about their own relationships. I wanted to hear them more talk about their businesses, how their businesses are going right now, how they started their business, how it's going right now, what they're planning to do with their businesses. I don't think that we've seen any of their products really when it comes to what they do, because the show is an opportunity to actually market your business, and I don't think that any of them have used that opportunity so far in Cape Town, which is the same issue that I had with Durban. You are on a reality show, it's going to go on Showmax, and once it's on Showmax, anybody can watch that show. So introduce your business on the show. Let's know what you do, but they just don't do it. I don't know if it's on their contracts that they're not supposed to do it, but they just don't do it. So there are those issues now that are starting to come up. They introduce their families, but it's like, now, okay, now what, And also, you guys, I feel like when I started doing our reality show reviews, I did say that, one thing about reality shows is that sometimes for the show to be entertaining, they have to make it more of a show than it is reality. Meaning that even though they are shooting reality, they're shooting your life, but they have to create some sort of a structure while shooting your life. They have to prompt certain things, they have to prompt certain conversations, they have to plan certain things. So because if they just come to a house and put cameras and just wait for something to happen, the show becomes boring. And I think honestly, Cape Town, that's what they're doing. Because if you think about it, when they are at Camilla's house last episode, they're at Camilla's house, Bev comes, they have that conversation with Beverly, and then the conversation is over, but the cameras are still there, which gave Beverly that opportunity to take the incense. Which it felt like the cameras were just hanging around in case something happens, and then she goes back and burns the incense. So I do feel like Aiki direction is to say, okay, Beverly, you're gonna come here, you guys are gonna talk about this, we want you to discuss this particular topic, and then we're gonna shoot this long, and then this scene is gonna be over, we're gonna move on. It doesn't feel like there is structure. Also, there is a scene as well that they shot last week with Beverly again. Beverly was going to buy flowers for Rashta because Rashta had not been feeling well. Okay, she buys the flowers, and then she's intending to deliver the flowers herself, but she never finds Rashta's house. I'm like poor planning, because if Beverly is supposed to deliver the flowers to Rashta's house, then call Rashta and say, Rashta, you have a scene to shoot today. Can we shoot at your house? Because Beverly is going to bring the flowers to your house. Are you even at your house? Because she wasn't feeling well, she might not have been in her house. So now Beverly goes to deliver the flowers, doesn't find the house. Meaning that honestly, it's like there was no plan to say, okay, we're going to shoot the scene at the flower shop when Beverly buys the flowers, and then we're going to shoot a scene at Rashta's house. So let's call Rashta and arrange for the cameras to be there and everything, so that when Beverly comes, the cameras are there, and then we have another scene here before that where Beverly is at the flower shop. So now she buys the flowers, she goes. Even finding out because she didn't find the house, which is later, or something. There's no organization when it comes to this whole thing. Then they took a trip to the yacht. Last episode, they went, on a yacht. When they go to the yacht, there's no food there. But then again, there was no plate. Okay, it's nice, guys, would you go to the yacht? Okay, yeah. But what are you going to do? They just sit and look at the water. There was no plan there, even conversations that they were having there, because let's say that they had no plan for the music, the food, or whatever, but yeah, they wanted certain conversations to take place in the yacht. So they should have planned, okay, we're going to talk about, RHOCT is going to talk to Bev about Bev telling Mohammed that RHOCT doesn't like Mohammed. Okay, and then while they're sitting at the table, while these ones are having this conversation, the others are having conversation, and the others, whereas they could just sit at the table, which is what Devin will do, sit at the table. If there's a conversation that they're having, everybody participates in that conversation. If they have nothing to say with that conversation, they will keep quiet, but at least it looks like it's organized. now the camera will go into this group and here a little bit, and then this group, and then this group. It just looked all disorganized, and it would be far more interesting if when Roxy is talking about to Beverly about her pimping her to Mohammed, that everybody was listening and everybody has an input, and then that could prompt something that was interesting for us to discuss. Honestly, you guys, the show is really boring. I really just feel like it's unfortunate that it is that way, because we were looking forward to it. I love my Devon girls, you guys, but I really felt like, because guys, yes, Zulus can be Zulus can be says, but Xhosas. So I was looking forward to my Xhosa girls like bringing it for us this season, and it's just not happening. And I do feel like we can't blame it all on the cast, really. I do feel like the crew could have organized it better. They just didn't do a good job, because I don't feel like their lives is that uninteresting that we wouldn't be able to enjoy the show. There is so much that could come out, and even with Roxy's pretense to be rich and all of that could come out on the show, and the way that Rashta is informing everybody about her pregnancy, that could be made into a thing. They're just failing us, guys. They are just failing us. So I do feel like they are trying to just give us reality, but reality without the show, sometimes it just becomes boring. Reality without the show, you can't just put cameras there without organizing what's going to be happening, without planning what conversations are going to be taking place, and expect that we are going to be entertained. That is the proof, actually, that reality TV shows do need to be partly scripted, in a sense that there has to be some form of a plan. Today we are shooting a scene between this person and this person. This is a conversation that is going to take place. Not that, guys, just come to a party, we'll see what happens, because then it becomes really boring. Anyway, you guys, I know that a lot of you have expressed as well that you are feeling the same way in terms of the show being boring, but I'm just looking forward to finding out if there's anybody that feels like Cape Town is really doing well, they're enjoying the show, and maybe they can share what are the things that they feel like they enjoy more about this show than the other franchises. Because for me, guys, hi shame, giporigil. If I can't do a full review on the show, then you must know what I'm giporigil shame, because reality shows I really love. So yes, you guys, so thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ngithanda kakhulu.